Yes, good morning everyone. Children, in the last time I told you the program of prime number. Then put a number and check whether it is prime or not. Today I am going to tell you teach you the program to check two numbers to be twin prime numbers or not. Okay? Twin prime numbers. What are the twin prime numbers? This I have already taught you in class 9. Twin prime numbers are those prime numbers, those two numbers which are prime in nature and with the difference of 2. Means two numbers should be there which are prime in nature and their difference should be 2. For example, 3 or 5, 5 or 7, okay, 11, 13, 17, 19, like this. So two values must be, both the values must be prime and their difference should be 2. So we are going today I am going to explain this program, that how to write this program, what is the concept of this program, how would you input two numbers and how would you check these two numbers are twin prime numbers or not. Okay? See. First of all, the program is write a program to input two numbers and check whether these are twin prime numbers or not. So twin prime numbers are those two numbers which are prime in nature and the difference is 2. Okay. So first of all, write down import java.util.star. Okay, I am telling the program from the beginning. Import java dot util.star. Then write down the class name. Class name I am writing t prime. Then I am writing public static void main. Okay. Till here, then make the object of scanner class. Scanner PS. You can write any object name. You can write any name of the object. Okay. Scanner is the class. PS is the object name. Okay. In place of PS, you can write your initials of your name. PS means P for Prabhat, as for Sharma. That's why I written PS. You can write the initials of your name. No problem. So scanner PS equals to new scanner and bracket system dot n. Okay. Now ask the user to input two values. So x and y, and this is for loop variable, and for counting the factors I am taking here c, c1. Okay, c1 equals to 0 and c2 equals to also 0. Okay, and c1 we will take the number of factors of x, and c2 will take the number of factors of y. Okay. Now ask the user to input two values. Enter the two numbers. So first value will be stored as x. Y equals to also PS dot. Next. Now we have input two values, x and y. Okay. Now we have to check x and y both are prime in nature or not. So last time I explained the concept of prime number. There will be two factors of prime number. Okay. First is 1 and second one is number itself. There must be two factors. First is 1, second will be itself. So how many factors are there? Two factors are there. Okay. First factor is 1 itself and second factor is number itself. Okay. So there will be two factors of a prime number. So what we will do? We will count the factors of a number. So to count the factors of a number, we will write down the loop. How? See here. Suppose we have to count the factors of x. So how shall we count the factors of x? See here. For I equals to 1, I is less than equals to x, I plus plus. So we are running the loop from 1 to x. Okay, 1 to x. The reason is number will be checked from every number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till itself. Okay, and it will count also. So here we will write down the condition of factor, how to count the factor, how to check a factor, how to find the factor. So x modulus I equals to 0. If x modulus I equals to 0, it will count the factors. That is C1 plus plus. Okay. So in this way, last time I explained the concept that my video lecture is already there in video. You can see it how it will calculate the factors. How would it count the number of factors? Okay. So here once again I am explaining today. Suppose the value of x is 7. Suppose the value of x is 7. Then how this loop will count the factors of x? Value of I is what? 1, and this is C1. Initial value is 0. So I equals to 1 less than equals to 7. Condition true. 7 minus 1 equals to 0. Condition is again true. It will count the value. It will increase the value of C1 by 1. So it will become what? 1. Now after this, it will jump here I plus plus. It will be 2. 2 less than equals 7. Yes. It will come inside. It will check. 7 minus 2 equals to 0. Condition false. Then again I plus plus. It will be 3. 2. Condition is false. Then I plus plus 3. 3 less than equals 7. Condition true. 7 minus 3 equals 0. Condition false. I plus plus 4. 4 less than equals to 7. Yes. 7 minus 4 equals 0. Condition false. I plus plus 5 less than equals to 7. Yes. 7 minus 5 equals to 0. Condition false. Again 6. I plus plus 6 less than equals to 7. Yes. 7 minus 6 equals 0. Condition false. I plus plus what? 7. 7 less than equals to 7. Condition is true. 7 minus 7 equals 0. Condition true. So C plus plus. So C plus plus means it will increase the value of C1. So last time the value of C1 was 1. Now plus plus. It will become what? 2. Now it will become what? 2. You can see this way. So in this way, I plus plus 8. 8 is less than 7. Condition false. Understood? Okay. So here the I plus plus explained here 6 is less than equal to 7. So 7 minus 6 equals 0. Condition will be false. So I plus plus 7. The value of I will be what? 7. 7 is less than equal to 7. Yes. 7 minus 7 equals 0. Yes. Condition true. The value of C1 will be increased by 1. So last time it was 1. Now I plus C1 plus plus. The value of C1 will be what? 2. Okay. So 7 is having two factors. First is 1. Second one is itself. So how many factors are there? 2. I plus plus 8. Value of I will be what? 8. 8 is less than equal to 7. Condition will be false. So it will come out from the loop. So this is the loop to count the factors. Understood? So here, this is the concept to check a number to be prime or not. Okay? Now, after this loop we have written to count the factors of x. One more loop we have to write to count the number of factors of y. Because we have to check y also. Whether it is prime or not, we will have to count the factors. So again, one more loop we will have to write here. For I equals to 1, I less than equals to y and I plus plus. Here we will write the condition if y modulus I equals to 0, then C2 plus plus. And this is the closing bracket of for loop. Okay. After this, we will write down the condition to check x and y to be twin prime numbers or not. So how shall we write this? See, I'm going to remove this concept. You can see this afterwards. So first of all, we will count the factors of x, then we will count the factors of y. So after coming out from this loop, we will write down the condition here. So after I'm writing condition here, if C1 equals to 2. If the value of C1 is 2, it means x is prime because x is having two factors. And so number of factors of x we are counting in C1 and C2 also is equals to 2. In C2 what we are doing? We are counting the number of factors of y. Okay? So value of C2 is also 2 and their difference should be 2. So what we can do, here we can use mat.absolute function, mat.abs, which converts the negative value to the positive value, which gives the positive value of a negative value. Okay, and math dot abs of x minus y equals to 2, because their difference should be 2. So suppose the value of x is 3 and y is 5, so 3 minus 5, you will get what? Minus 2. So math dot abs minus 2. So my abs function will convert minus 2 in plus 2, and then after converting in plus 2, it will compare to 2. So math dot abs function is used to convert the negative value to positive value. Then it will come in use. So then only the resultant value will be compared with 2, whether it is equals to 2. So first condition is true, x is prime. Second condition is true, y is prime. And this condition is true, it means their difference is 2. It means that these two numbers are twin prime. So you write down here system.out.println twin prime numbers. You can print the message x and y are twin prime numbers or whatever else. I am writing in short form SOPLN, but in copy you write down the full. Okay? So SOPLN not twin prime numbers. This way. Close the color bracket of main and close the color bracket of class. So this is the program of checking two numbers to be twin prime numbers or not. Okay? You can understand this. Already I have taught you this program in class 9. Okay. Now we will proceed to the next program, which is, and the next program is of perfect numbers. What are the perfect numbers? Okay. Perfect numbers are those numbers whose sum of factors, excluding itself, equals to the number itself. Sum of factors of a number, excluding itself, must be equal to the number itself. Okay? Sum of factors of a number, excluding itself, must be equal to the number itself. Okay? That is called as perfect number. See, I am going to play this. Okay. So these are the two examples of twin prime number, perfect numbers. 6 is a perfect number because its sum of factors excluding 6 is equal to 6. Similarly, sum of factors of 28, 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14 excluding itself will be equal to number itself. So these types of numbers are known as perfect numbers. Okay. So generally, to check a perfect number, what we can do, we will have to find the sum of factors excluding itself. So exclude a number you can write in two ways. First method, you can write down the loop from 1 to I equals to 1 less than x. Okay, don't need to include x. Second concept is you can write down the loop from 1 to x half, because any number can have its factor till its half, excluding itself. Any number can have its factors till its half, excluding itself. So what you can do in that case, the number you can write down the loop from 1 to x half, I equals to 1 less than equals to x upon 2 I plus plus. The two methods are there. Whichever method you find easier, you can use it. Okay? So what we will do, first of all, write down the class name, perfect. Okay? Perfect number. This is the class name. So x we are taking, loop variable, I we are taking, sum of factor, s equals to 0 we are taking here. Ask the user to enter a number, system.println, enter a number. So x equals to ps.next is number we have input here. Now we have to find the sum of factor. Sum of factors of x, excluding itself. So what we can do, I equals to 1 less than equals to x upon 2. We are running the loop till x half. Because I explained just now, any number can have its factors till its half. For example, 10 is there. 10 will have its factor till 5, 100 will have its factor till 50, excluding itself. 500 will have till 250, 1000 will have till 500. So any number can have its factor till its half. So therefore I am writing this loop, I equals to 1 less than equals to x upon 2, I plus plus. If x modulus I equals 0, because this is the condition, if x is divisible by I, means after dividing x by I, remainder comes 0. I is dividing x, so I is the factor. Understood? So I should be added in s. So s plus equals to I. This way we will write s plus equals to I. Here we are finding the sum of factor. Okay? Here I am writing the comment also. Finding sum of factor. Sum of factors. Okay? This way. Now, how we shall understand the concept of finding the sum of factor. How does it work? For example, we are taking the value of x is 28, for example. So how shall this program find the sum of factor? Okay? I equals to 1 less than equals to x prime. Suppose we are taking the value of x is 28, for example. I am going to drive this program. I am going to explain the concept that how this loop will run and it will calculate the sum of factor. So here the value of s we are taking as 0. S is a variable in which sum of factors will be stored. The loop will begin from I equals to 1. Yes. It will run x upon 2. X upon 2 means 28 upon 2, 14. It will check 1 is less than equal to 14. Condition will be true. And 28 modulus 1 equals 0. Yes. So 1 will be added in s. So 0 plus 1 will give you what? 1. I plus plus now will come on upgrade expression I plus plus 2. So value of I plus plus it will be what? 2. 2 is less than equals to 14. Yes. So 2, 28 modulus 2 equals 0. Yes. So 2 will be added in s. So last time the value of s was 1. So it will be added in 1 plus 2. That's why. I plus plus, value of I was 2, I plus plus it will be what? 3. 3 less than equals to 14. Yes. So 28 modulus 3 equals to 0. Condition false. It will not be added. Then I plus plus, I value of I will be what? 4 less than equals to 14. Yes. So 28 modulus 4 equals 0. Condition is true. So 4 will be added in s. So last time the value of s was 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 plus 4. Okay. Then I plus plus 5. So value of I will be what? 5 is there. 5 is less than equals to 14. Condition is true. It will come inside. 28 modulus 5 equals 0. Condition false. Nothing will be added in s. I plus plus what? 6. 6 is less than equals to 14. Condition true. 28 modulus 6 equals 0. Condition false. Nothing will be added in s. I plus plus what? 7. So 7 less than equals to 14. Yes. 28 modulus 7 equals to 0. Condition true. 7 will be added in s. So last time the value of s was 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus now 7 will be added. Now I plus plus 8. Value of I will be what? 8. Value of I will be what? 8. So I value of I will be 8. 8 is less than 14. Yes. 28 modulus 8. Condition false. I plus plus 9. Condition false. Now that means 9 is less than 14. Condition true. 28 modulus 9. False. Then I plus plus 10. 10 is less than 14. Condition true. 28 modulus 10. Condition false. 28 modulus 8. 28 modulus 10. Condition 28 modulus 10 equals to 0. Condition false. I plus plus 11. Condition true. But this condition will be false. I plus plus 12. 12 less than equals to 14. Condition true. But this condition will be false. I plus plus 13. Okay. 28 modulus 13. Condition false. I plus plus 14 is less than equals to 14. Condition true. 28 modulus 14 equals to 0. Condition true. So 14 will be added in s. Okay. You can see here it is visible here. So value of I plus plus 14. So 14 will be added in s. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14. Okay, I plus plus 15. Condition less than equals to 14. Condition false. So it will come out from the loop. So here I have run this program. I have run the concept of this program. How it will calculate the sum of factors. So this is the terminology. Basically, it will take place when you write down such program. When you write down this loop, so it will first of all the value of I will be 1, then number x will be checked by 1 itself. So if it is divisible by 1, then 1 will be added. If it is divisible by 2, will be added. 3, 4, 5. So when the condition will be correct, when this condition will be true, then only it will be added in S. Otherwise not. So after coming out from this loop, in S, sum of factors, excluding number itself, will be stored. So after coming out from this loop, we have to check the condition whether it is perfect number or not. So here we will write. I am going to clear this concept. Later on you can write. So here we will write on the condition of if-else statement. If S equals to X, we will write system.out.println. In short form I am writing. It is a perfect number. Else not. Else not a perfect number. Okay? And this is the closing color bracket of main, and this is the closing color bracket of class. So in this way, this is the program of a perfect number. To check a number to be a perfect number or not. Okay, fine. Okay, children. So the next number is Nevin number. Okay, the Nevin number, what is the Nevin number? A number which is divisible by its sum of digits. A number which is divisible by its sum of digits. A number which is divisible by its sum of digits is called as Nevin number. Okay, for example, 126 is there. Sum of digits of 126 will be 1 plus 2 plus 6, 9. And 126 is divisible by 9. That's why this number is known as Nevin number. Okay. Now, we will write down the program to check a number to be Nevin number or not. The program is, write a program to input a number and check whether it is Nevin number or not. So, to check a number to be Nevin number or not, what we will have to do, we will have to find the sum of digits of a number. Okay, so here the concept is changed. In previous programs we were finding the factors. Now here we have to find the sum of digits, because many programs are there, many numbers are there which are based on finding the digits, and they calculate their square, then finding the product of digits, sum of digits, their square, and many more. Okay, so in this program we are going to find the sum of digits of a number. Then we will check whether it is Nevin number or not. Okay. So, first of all, write down the class, Nevin number, public static void main scanner, enter X for number, I for loop variable, S to store the sum of digit, and digit we will store the digit. So, system.out enter a number, X equals to ps dot next int. So, here we will write down the loop for I equals to X, I is not equals to 0, I upon equals to 10. Okay, this is the loop we are writing to find the digit and then sum. So digit you will find by finding the modulus of I by 10. If I modulus we will write, then we will get the remainder, that will be the digit. And we have to find the sum. So S plus equals to digit. Okay. Now I am going to try on this program, see the working of this program. How does this program run? And how will it calculate the sum of digits? For example, X is 126. Value of X is 126. I equals to X. So value of I will be what? 126. Not equals to 0. No digit we are taking here. Digit equals to I modulus 10. 126 modulus 10. What do you will get? 6. 10 1 are 10. 2. Take 6. 10 to the 20. 6 will be the remainder. Then the 6 will be added in S. This is the S. S is 0. So 0 plus 6. What you will get? 6. S is containing 6. Now if you jump on update part, I upon equals 10. 126 upon 10, 12 you will get. So 12 is not equal to 0. No. 12 minus 10, 2 you will get. And this 2, 12 minus 10 under 10, remainder 2. 2 you will get. The value of here is 2. 2 will be added in S. So 6 plus 2 equals to what? 8. Okay. Then I upon 10. Value of I is 12. 12 upon 10, 1. And integer you will get 1 only. 1 is not equal to 0. No. Now 1 modulus 10. 1 modulus 10 you will get 1. But how? See, when you write 1 modulus 10, 1 modulus 10 means 1 is divided by 10. So how will you get 1 in remainder or as a remainder? Because this 1 is there, 1 is smaller than 10. So it will be divided how many times? 0 times only. So 1 minus 0, 1. So when you write 1 modulus 10, you will get 1 as a remainder. 2 modulus 10, 2. 3 modulus 10, 3. 3 modulus 100, 3. Remainder. 4 modulus 100, 4. 60 modulus 100. Remainder will be what? 60. 70 modulus 100, 70. 1000 modulus 10,000. 1000 will be the remainder in integer. Okay. 6 modulus 8, 6 will be the remainder. 7 modulus 10, 7 will be the remainder. So this way, 10 will divide 1 and 0 times only. 10 into 0, 0. 1 minus 0, 1. So here, I upon 10. So value of I was 12. 12 upon 10, 1. 1 is not equal to 0. No. 1 modulus 10, 1. Value of digit will be what? 1. And this 1 will be added in S. So 8 plus 1 equals to what, beta? 9. Now we jump on update part. 1 upon 10, 0. Condition false. 0 is not equal to 0. Condition false. So when it will comparable come out from the loop, it will have the value of S as sum of digits of X. So in S, sum of digits will be stored. In S, what will be stored? Sum of digits will be stored. Now, we have to check whether this X is divisible by S or not. X is divisible by S or not. X is divisible by sum of digits or not. X is divisible by sum of digits or not. So, this is the trial, this is the working of this program. I am going to clean this. Now, we will write down the condition of if else statement. If X modulus S equals to 0. Okay? If X modulus S equals to 0, the condition is true, it will print what? Even number, else not. Like this. Okay? This is the closing curly bracket of main, closing curly bracket of class. Okay? So here you can see this is the method to check a number to be Levin number or not. Okay? So few more programs I will give you in homework. 3 numbers I have explained. On the basis of these concepts, I will give you few programs in homework that you have to solve yourself for this week. I will give you some exercise. So this is the work that you are supposed to copy, that you are supposed to write in a notebook, that I will check when the school will reopen. Okay? And I will give you some programs also in homework. Those programs you are supposed to complete in your fair copy. Okay? Thank you.